Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here tonight for our final live stream event of Reggie Sleepout at Home 2021. I am your host here tonight. My name is Blake Willitson. I am our IHYC Development Coordinator here down at Des Moines, headquartered at our Youth Opportunity Center in downtown Des Moines. And I am very happy to be joined by three of our favorite people here at YSS. I'm going ahead to introduce here Hope Metheny. Hi, Hope. Jeanette Flynn up in Boone. And Toby O'Berry, our IHYC director.
Hey, Blake.
So we are very, very happy to announce that after all of your hard work with fundraising this year, we have been able to see a huge amount of impact from all of you here in your efforts to try and support our homeless and at-risk youth across the state of Iowa here. We were able to fundraise up to date here $108,000, $108,361 to be exact. So we are very, very appreciative of all the hard work that went into you, all at home, sleeping out, going out and inviting your friends and family to join us, and, being able to go out and support our youth and learn a little bit more about what goes on at YSS. So we thank you so much for all that you've done. And with that, we're going to kind of wrap up our celebration here this afternoon by taking a look at all the fun that was happening in each of our different communities here across the state of Iowa. And we're going to start with you, Hope. So maybe if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and what was your favorite part of this year's Sleepout?
I'm Hope Metheny. I'm the Transitional Housing Program Manager in Boone and Story counties and in the Two Rivers region. And I have been with YSS Transitional Housing Programs for 10 years now, so I've had some experience doing Reggie's, and I really like the versatility of being able to do it at home this year, so we could get so many people involved through yard signs or sleeping out on a variety of nights. And so that I think is something pretty special during the pandemic, people not having to leave their homes and being able to participate in a way that makes them feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's been fantastic over this past year and last year that we were able to continue to host this event in a safe and fun way and still involve people whenever they're, available to do their sleep out on their own time. And that's been kind of a nice change of pace this year. Maybe if you could just tell us a little bit about what's an example of how the funds raised here in the Ames metro area, how those are going to be used in Eastern Story County to support our homeless youth.
Yeah, so we have a variety of things we are planning to use the funds for raised, but I think one of the most important things is this funds. It's not limited, and so we can do a lot of fun things with the youth or just necessities. There's really not any funds and grants to get clients really their basic needs of an ID, a birth certificate, Social Security card, and you need all of those kinds of things to be able to get a job. And so this really helps that gap of being able to help the youth to the next level, not just providing them with a house, but providing them with a home and then doing all of these wraparound things to really get them motivated to become self-sufficient.
Absolutely. That versatility is huge for programs like ours. And, I think there's been so many different people involved across the state. So many awesome stories. Is there any standout stories that you wanted to share of like a group or sponsor or maybe a volunteer this year that's been involved that really did an awesome job with their Sleepout?
So we got a new sponsor this year that I'm pretty proud of. It's the Nevada Kiwanis. When we asked, they gave a $1,000 gift, which is really huge for a local Kiwanis. So they are all about ending homelessness. Every year They help us with point in time. And so when this opportunity came up for them, they were more than willing. They met us at the office with a huge check, and it was really a lot of fun, and it helped raise awareness, not only in Ames, but as a Story County, that Nevada's included, Gilbert's included. It felt really inclusive. And I think one of the funnest things was one of our staff came up with the s'mores awareness, where they made s'mores kits, and then part of the proceed or the profit that all went back into Reggie's Sleepout. So I think that was a really fun way to get little kids and younger people involved and make it fun. I wish I would have thought of something fun like that for little ones, but I didn't. And I'm really grateful that Heather did. She did a really great job.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun with that too. It's been amazing to see all the different fun ways that people have tried to been creative with going out and trying to raise some funds and awareness for our youth. Well, with that, we will go ahead and turn it over to Jeanette. Thank you, Hope. Now, so Jeanette, maybe if you could tell us a little bit about what was your favorite part of this year's Sleep Out, and tell us, the folks at home, who you are and what you do.
I'm Jeanette Flynn. I'm with YSS of Boone County. I've been working for YSS for 5.5 years. This is the first year doing Reggie's in Boone, so it was a really exciting year. Really learning about Reggie's and sharing his story was probably my favorite part. We had a group of volunteers that helped put together a bulletin board for the Boone Middle School, and it was all about Reggie, and just really diving into content really about Reggie. I mean, we cried as we were putting this bulletin board together. Just getting to know his story was able to empower us to really share more about him, and just the experience of what it was like for somebody to be homeless. And so we were able to then build that story into making it more of an awareness in our community and sharing that with our community members.
Yeah, and real quick for the folks at home, if any of you aren't familiar with Reggie Kelsey, the name and the story, Reggie Kelsey was a young man who was back in 2001, he aged out of the foster care system, and he was involved with some of the programming at YSS. He had, unfortunately, after aging out of the foster care system, didn't have all the right supports in place, and he was found drowned in the Des Moines after one morning in the Des Moines River. And so after his passing, there was a real rallying cry in our community of how can we support youth like Reggie, and how we can prevent a similar tragedy. And from that came the Iowa Aftercare Network a few years later, and a lot of other support systems that are in place now that YSS helps to provide to youth like Reggie today. So thank you so much, Jeanette. Maybe if you could tell us a little bit more about an example for you up in Boone County. What are some ways that you think those funds are going to be used that have been raised?
Yeah, so we have a lighthouse in our community, so funds will help support our lighthouse. They also support the youth that are in our TLP and aftercare programs. We have goals that are appropriate for them long-term to eliminate barriers to their future, from basic needs, from housing, food, clothing, personal hygiene, transportation, educational, employment support. Goals are all tailored for each individual, so the money really goes a long way, and our staff are just really there to help support the youth in what they need and what they want, and to just help end the cycle of homelessness. If we can do something now to help prevent this becoming their future, that's the best thing that we can do.
Yeah, and real quick on the screen there, that was our lighthouse facility. That very fun to go out there and talk a little bit more about what's going on. And if you haven't got a chance, there's some really awesome educational videos out there over the course of the event. You can go back to your emails, or if you want to, go ahead and visit reggiesleepout.org, and all that is available for you to check out on your own time and learn more about what's going on in Boone and beyond. Jeanette, if you could, one last question. Do you have a group that you wanted to highlight? Anybody that did a really stand-up job this year?
Yeah, I have a couple groups. Kim Kitterman, she's the director of our Futures Alternative High School, and her students, they really went out and helped share the word about Reggie's and help get people signed up. They did our door hangers. Taylor Nuring, she's a specialized service prevention coordinator at YSS. She has a Boone Middle School teen outreach program. Thank you to all of them for hanging out door hangers and getting the word out in our community. And then I have a board member, Sam Burial. He was sharing Reggie's story with the Grace Community Church, and he got members of his congregation to really listen and hear about Reggie and his story and join our cause. And then Crystal Reynolds, Afton Spears, Mark Vasquez, Gloria Cheeky, and Mariah Corbin. They're some YSS staff that really just helped Boone Reggie's this year. It's our first year, and I just am really thankful for their support.
Yeah, like we like to say around here, it takes a village. And, one of those really, really important pieces to an event like this is having some board members and form a committee full of people in our communities that are willing to help support and make this thing happen everywhere. And so thank you so much to everyone who volunteered their time and served on one of those committees, went out and did door hangers and every little piece along the way. That's invaluable, and we extremely thankful for everyone out there that was able to help out. Well, thank you so much, Jeanette. We're going to go ahead and move on to our friends down in Des Moines here. And if you can, take it away, Toby O'Berry. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Thanks, Blake. So I'm Toby O'Berry. I run our programming at YSS in Des Moines, Iowa Homeless Youth Centers, as well as all of our transition service programming across all of the YSS locations. Very happy to be here. I've been with the agency for 9 years. This is my 9th Reggie Sleepout. Each one is a little bit different, but they're all extremely impactful in generating funds and awareness for the youth that we serve.
Absolutely. And this year was no different. Maybe if you could tell us, what's your favorite part? I mean, you've been doing this thing forever. Tell us what's your favorite part about this year's Sleepout in particular.
Well, I have like 3. So I'm going to break the rules. I think the first one for me is just the fact that our agency went from holding Reggie Sleepout at one location in Des Moines. Sometimes we've tried a little bit for one in Ames, but this was really a united agency focus of expanding services for youth, as well as raising awareness around youth homelessness. And so to go from one location in Des Moines to 5 communities across the state of Iowa of holding Reggie Sleepout, and then even doing that during the pandemic and having an at-home format has been pretty amazing to see that happen. And I also want to give a shout out to Blake. He's very humble. He's been the point person and leading our entire agency's rolling out of Reggie Sleepout. So Blake, thank you for leading this, for kind of coordinating everything behind the scenes. It wouldn't have gone this smooth without your support. The second thing that I'm super excited about was just seeing all the pictures of people sleeping out. And I think some of that is we had a really good weather for the last 10 days for Reggie Sleepout. So I'm very happy to see that, and just happy to see new people participating and new campers and new donors for Reggie Sleepout.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of my favorite times of the year, and being able to see everybody participating, even though we aren't able to come together like we have in years past, it has been really phenomenal to see some of those photos, and fun to see everybody out there enjoying themselves and making it their own.
Yeah.
Maybe if you could, Toby, could you tell us a little bit about an example of how the funds raised are going to be used in Des Moines or beyond?
Yeah, we get a lot of our funding from federal grants, very large, kind of structured, budgeted grants that you have to write in specific expenses, or some things are allowable and some things are not allowable. And the beauty of Reggie Sleepout, a little bit like what Hope talked about, is the funds can be used to bridge a gap or provide service or support for a youth as needed. And one of those examples, we have across YSS what's called rapid rehousing, which places a youth in their own apartment, sign a lease with a landlord. We provide rental assistance via a federal grant and wraparound case management support. Well, in Des Moines specific, Within the last year, the landlords have started to require renters and tenant renters insurance. In the past, it was voluntary for that, but now it's a mandated requirement by landlords. And if you don't have renters insurance, they will automatically charge you. And our federal grants do not cover renters insurance. So that's roughly $15, sometimes $20 a month. So that $150 isn't covered by any of our grants. And Reggie's Sleepout funds would support that renter's assistance to allow our youth to be in their own apartment. So very appreciative of kind of Reggie Sleepout funds being able to plug that gap in services for that rental assistance.
Yeah, to be able to work through some of those areas where we don't have the same amount of funding, or maybe it isn't built in, is really, really, really high utility, and really helps us to expand what we're able to offer for our youth. And so this is such a huge program, just across the board for how we're able to, service these young people and give them more opportunity. Maybe tell us just real quick if you had a group or sponsor, anybody you wanted to highlight in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, large shout out to Wells Fargo, to Nationwide, Salmon's Financial Group, all of our corporate partners for supporting Reggie Sleepout, specific in Des Moines. And we also had a couple of really cool groups that were participating. Colleen Conrad, who is a multi-year supporter of Reggie Sleepout, her and her family are holding a Reggie Sleepout kind of a get-together at their house this evening to raise funds and programming support for Reggie Sleepout. So big shout out to Colleen Conrad and her family. And then also there's another group that is a multi-year participant, is WorldLink. And so this is a group of international exchange students. And Blake, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you remember how many participants we had on the team for WorldLink, roughly, I guess?
Yeah, so it is pretty amazing. And I believe that this is a record for them after participating for over 10 years. This is the first time that they've had 67 participants this year in one group across the state of Iowa. That's all the way from Cherokee to Harlan to Ankeny, all the way across the state, which is really, really neat. And they're all kind of supporting their most local community there. And so it is a fantastic group. A lot of these young people were getting really creative and, using TikTok and other social media platforms to try and reach more people, knocking on doors. So really, really surprised at how well they were able to work this year in this kind of new format.
Yeah, and WorldLink hosts, it's basically a large group of international exchange students who have come for school in the United States. They're learning about youth homelessness. In the past, they've come to our agency's facility and volunteered. But to have those 60 so individuals raising funds and awareness where they're not even from the United States and they're here visiting and wanting to give back is pretty cool and pretty amazing. And they've been doing it, like you said, for many years. That WorldLink is a great organization and great supporter of Reggie Sleepout.
Yeah, and we actually have kind of a fun little special announcement here. So every year we try and honor those teams who went above and beyond with their fundraising efforts. And this year, the top fundraising team that wasn't YSS affiliated was WorldLink. And so as a congratulations, we'd like to give them a opportunity to have some fun and thank them for their efforts by giving them a free pizza party. And that is going to be provided thanks to Quick Star convenience stores. Thank you, Quick Star, for going out and helping with that effort. But congratulations to WorldLink, and they were able to raise $2,445 to date. So, way to go!
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and with that, just again, we would like to give one final thank you to all of our sponsors, all of our volunteers, everyone who was able to make this event a success this year. We can't do it without you folks at home. Some quick housekeeping. So we will, everyone who went out and fundraised, you have some really awesome opportunities to grab some gear. So we are going to have sweatshirts and t-shirts shipping out over the next few weeks here. So if you watch in your inbox tomorrow, there will be coupon codes sent out and an online store opening up. You'll have the opportunity to, if you fundraised $50, receive a RSO t-shirt for free. If you fundraised $100, you can receive our sweatshirt for free. If you fundraise $250, you can receive a really neat backpack cooler. And if you fundraise $500, there's a packable blanket. And then if you really, really, really went above and beyond this year and fundraised $1,000 or more, you can receive the RSO packable lawn chair. So you can bring that to a soccer game, bring that to your next event. Really, really thankful for everybody who went out there and fundraise some money to support our homeless youth. And if you want to, you can also visit that online store and purchase some additional items at home if you weren't able to participate in the Sleepout this year, or if you just want to grab some fun gear. So with that, is there any other closing notes? Thank you, all of you, for joining us here tonight, and we are so happy to wrap this thing up.
Thanks a lot for all your hard work, Blake. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, yeah, this has been another fantastic year of Reggie Sleepout. We look forward to seeing you again next year, everyone. And thank you so much, especially those people who were able to participate for the first time this year. It has been really, really fantastic to see your efforts, and look forward to sharing more information about how all the funds raised over the course of this year's event are going to be spent on helping out our homeless youth in your community.